Yeah, why not?
Okay. Chapter 6, functions. Okay, what does a function do? Function does, as I mentioned already, the same thing that a method did in Java. Okay, it's going to take the program and break it into smaller, easier parts to work with. This is where this term top-down design comes from. Not we start at line number 1 and work our way down to line 100. We take it and we do this divide and conquer. For example, I might have a program and I ask you to calculate pay, and if I say calculate pay, this idea of a hierarchy chart is, well, I'm going to come over here and do input, and then I might take input and break it up into display, intro, ask for the value of pay, do a data check on pay, and keep breaking it down. Over here under processing, I'll have some things going on there. What do I want to do under processing? And processing. And the idea, again, is to break it down into smaller parts. Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. Depends how much processing. And over here is going to be my output. And again, I break that down. What all do I want to display? So I keep breaking this down into more smaller blocks of code, manageable blocks of code. And as I said, you've already experienced this in your Java class that got you into this class, except maybe 1 or 2 of you that are guest students. Hopefully you have an idea of what's going on. Okay. As you remember, there were 2 types of methods. There are, in fact, 2 types of functions. The first one is a void function. Second one is a value returning function. The void function just says, hey, go do this. And a lot of times, go do this is as simple as displaying information. Value returning methods. That's one where I send some things in and I return a value that I want to use. So there's a lot of processing going on with this value returning. There's input going on with this value returning. Now, something that's different in C++ that you did not have in Java is these things called prototypes. Now, as you can see in the notes, the prototype allows me to say, hey, this function is going to exist. I'm not going to write it until after the main. But hey, it exists. Could I write the function and put it before the main? Yes. But as you move along in C++ in this textbook into 162, prototypes are going to become important. So you want to start to learn the process of writing a prototype now so that when we start creating projects in our 162 class, you will be familiar with doing what's necessary of these prototypes. And the first one that you saw was in the code listing 6.5. So it should be familiar from when you type that up. I don't know why. That's better. Okay. With a function, when I call the function, for example, what if I have a function called display value stuck somewhere in the main? This guy right here, this number 10, is what's called an argument. So when I call the method, function, when I call the function, the values that are in the parentheses are called the arguments. An argument could be a constant, like 10. It could be a variable, like x. It could be an expression, like x plus 10. Because what happens is the value that's created here, the 10, whatever stored in x, whatever stored in x plus 10, just that value is passed down and lands in my function heading. So this is a call to the function. This is a void because nothing's being returned. I don't have equals blah, blah, blah over here. All right. Function heading, void, display value. And now I have my parameter list. I'm bringing in an int and I want to store it in this local variable called num. When I am done with this method, this local variable called num is gone. Now, what if I had a global variable up here called num and I passed it? Well, what actually happens is this becomes a unique local variable called num, the same as what was up there. So I can use it both places. Not a good habit to get into. When I go from arguments to my parameter list, if I have 2 ints and a double, down here I need 2 ints and a double. I have to have the same number, the same order, the same data types. Some of that's going to change later, but that's a secret, and I'm not telling you. This guy right here, int num, inside of this parameter list, what's another name, a shortcut name for my parameter list? It's, pick a letter. Pick a letter. You guys aren't good at Hangman. Do you ever play Hangman? Is that like gone forever with you Utes? Pick a letter.
E.
A.
E. There's an E. I heard A. There's an A.
I.
I. There's an I. You're killing the vowels.
O.
Oh, nope. We're going to draw ahead.
C.
C. Uh-oh. There's the torso.
L.
L. Now you guys really stink at this game. You were on a roll.
M.
Huh?
M.
M. Nope. There's another leg.
T.
T. There's a T. S. S.
I am.
S. Good. Somebody guessed S. Somebody guessed N.
M.
Signature.
Signature. Yeah. It's also called its signature. Its signature. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of times you're going to hear the parameter list. It has a shortcut name called signature. Okay. More notes. More notes. Yay. All right. We talked about void methods. We talked about returning values. You know, on here I have a function heading int sum. I'm bringing 2 values in int sum. I might want to return it. But when I actually call it up above, I have to do something with it. Like x equals sum of 1 comma y. Okay, I have to do something with that value that's coming back. I have to store it in X. I have to display it. I have to do something along those lines. All right, so let's knock off the rust. I'm going to let you do some typing here. That was a real short recording.